Enterprise Week, Trailgazers, which is a project led by Donegal County Council, will host a social enterprise event tomorrow to launch their toolkit, sort of the fruit of their labours, if you like. And it's in Greenan Hotel in Burt from 11 to 12:30. The speakers will include Jason Black, Angus Kennedy, who was on the show with us yesterday and actually mentioned this, and from Wild Ireland, Killian McLaughlin. And Killian joins us now to tell us a little bit more about this. Killian, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Now, gazers, it's all about trails here in Donegal, and there's not near enough of them. So this is sort of a project setting to put that wrong to right.
Yes, and get people out in the outdoors and shine a spotlight on the local area and the natural beauty and the natural wonder that we have in this area. Fantastic.
And the whole idea of it, if I'm not mistaken, is to enable people to sort of develop their own trails, or maybe start them off at least.
Absolutely, yeah. There's so much to see in the local area, and particularly centred around the event tomorrow. You can go on a walk or go on a bike, and of course, Wild Ireland is not too far away. So, yeah, people can make their trail up to ourselves at Wild Ireland, and then onwards from there to all the other beautiful attractions and tourist attractions that we have in the area. And it's about making those connections between all of those different attractions and showing people what we have to offer.
So what is it exactly that Trailgazers did to enable people to sort of look into it and to explore and to develop possible trails?
So there's a map that sort of shows the various attractions in the area, and that's everything from, like the Inch Wildfowl Reserve and the various things to see on that trail, and then link those trails up with other trails all over the area, and develop those trails even further to link other areas as well in the local vicinity.
Because I even see that here around Kenny, and not far from the station, where there's ideas, and there's maybe a bit of a forest walk, and then like a quiet country road, and you're thinking, why couldn't that be, the loop and go down there and then go around, and that would mean something that would make sense from start to finish. And I'm sure there's plenty of situations like that elsewhere in the county.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at the success of the Wild Atlantic Way and how they connected the whole west coast of Ireland and made it one big long route that the majority of people drive, and I don't think very many people walk it or cycle it. But, it's maybe shrinking that down into a smaller scale. So if you're along the Wild Atlantic Way, what is there to do? And then you can get out, and as I say, Wild Ireland is one of the main features along, or one of the most well-known new attractions that we have. But there's also lots of other attractions that have been around for much longer, and it's about bringing all those attractions together and showing people that there is a great package to have locally, for the locals to get out, enjoy nature, get away from the cars, go for a walk, go for a cycle. It's a great thing for families to do. There's lots of educational things along the way to learn about the natural environment. And of course, you're leaving your car behind, which is a huge asset to the local environment and the global environment by not contributing to global warming and pollution from your cars.
And so I suppose, Killian, in a way, it's about breaking it down into bite-sized, accessible sizes, and things to do, instead of people thinking the Wild Atlantic Way, that's just too much for us to tackle. We'll leave that to another day.
Absolutely, and it shows, that this is a signature destination along the Wild Atlantic Way for people that are maybe thinking about exploring it and attracting them up to this part of the world, which generally sometimes is forgotten about. And then, of course, you've got your locals. Very often, I'm guilty of this myself, but I don't get out and explore the local area. So, yeah, it's fantastic. It encourages people to get out there and enjoy what we have and the beauty that's around us.
Well, more people than ever have been sort of made aware of Wild Ireland, because you're now on Netflix. That documentary that was made a couple of years ago, it's now up on Netflix. So what's the response been like? I mean, this opened you up, I suppose, to a new market entirely.
Absolutely. I mean, it was amazing to get that opportunity to get on a stage like Netflix. We had the documentary on RTE, but it was only once a week, and some people missed certain episodes of it. And the great thing about Netflix is you can sit down and binge them, and we've all got so used to binging series over the course of the COVID pandemic, of course. So, it's four episodes that people can sit down and watch them back to back, and it shows the story of Wild Ireland from start to finish. And it's on an international stage now as well. So we have had lots of feedback from the UK, Scotland and England and Wales. People telling us that they've watched the documentary, they loved it, and they can't wait to make the trip across to see Wild Ireland. And then it's about keeping those people here, and that brings great interest to the area, and that has a knock-on effect to everybody, and I mean a positive knock-on effect to everybody, from hotels to restaurants to cafes to even filling stations and local shops that are maybe, after COVID, everybody's struggling a little bit, and let's bring them in, let's show them what we have to offer. I mean, we live in a beautiful part of the world, and it takes signature destinations to draw people in, but then it takes everybody else as a community to work together, and I think that's what the Trail Blazers is about as well, is everybody working together to keep people in the area and show them what sort of a community that we have here, and highlight the beauty of the area.
Just going back to the documentary, Killian, yourself and your good wife, and if I remember right, New Arrival all featured, but also all the animals. It was made some time back now, so what's changed since? It was filmed over the course of 2 years, believe it or not. The cameraman more or less moved in with us. It's a real reality TV show, and they became part of the furniture. And they filmed, all the highs and the lows of getting the place off the ground, and the COVID pandemic, of course, and how we survived that and out the other side of it, thankfully. Lots has changed since. We never stop developing. We never sit still up there. We're always trying to rescue different animals. And most people are probably aware that we're working on another rescue in Russia at the moment that's been hampered by the war in Ukraine. 2 bears, Boo and Teopa, that are kept in horrendous conditions in Russia, and how they're still alive, I don't know. We've been working so hard, but just bureaucracy and politics have gotten in the way of actually rescuing them. But they're hanging in there. They're both still alive in those awful conditions. Right.
So we've actually started filming a series 2 as well, and that will follow the journey of the new developments at Wild Ireland. We've got a new cafe, a new entrance, a new car park. We've got lots of new animals for people to see. So anybody that was maybe with us at the start and hasn't come back since, come back, because there's lots more to see. And hopefully Series 2 will be out, if not this year, early next year, fingers crossed.
Brilliant. Well, we look forward to it. And it's important to stress, I suppose, that you're adding new animals into the mix all the time. That I see that you've got some raccoons there now.
We do. They're fondly called trash pandas in America, because they look like pandas, like miniature pandas, and in America, anybody that has lived in North America will know that they're very fond of raiding trash cans or the bins, so that's their nickname up there. Yeah, they're an invasive species in Europe now. They've actually been put on the banned list, so they can't be bred or kept as pets or anything like that, which is a really good thing, because raccoons, I can tell you, do not make good pets. So we have 3 of them here at Wild Ireland, and they've been with us for a little while. It's just taken us some time to get a nice big habitat prepared for them, and they were released into that new habitat last week, and they're amazing. They're really, really amazing little animals, to watch them. Like miniature bears. We've got the big bears, we've got the little miniature raccoons, which are lovely. And they climb up and sit right up on the top of the trees. You wouldn't believe how agile they are.
Yeah.
And we've got lots of other animals as well that have come in. You've got various parrots and foxes and hares, wallabies even. A lot of people don't realise that there's wallabies living in the wild in Ireland, on Lambay Island, just off the coast of Dublin. And of course we've got all the usuals. We've got our bears, our wolves, our lynx, our wild boar, red deer, fallow deer, sika deer. You name it, pretty much we've got them all at Wild Ireland.
This harsh weather won't bother them too much.
Do you know this? They actually prefer the cold to the warmth. They're a lot more active. You see, because we concentrate on animals that are native or once were native, they're very accustomed to the climate. This is their habitat. It always looks a bit funny when you go to a zoo, I think, and see a lion in a big green field. It just looks so out of place. But when you see our animals living in the forest, this is their climate. This is their habitat. and they just love it. You know, they love the snow. The bears will be out rolling about and playing in the snow. It's actually on a very hot day that our animals get kind of inactive. The bears in particular, if it gets warm now in the spring before they've lost their winter coat, they get very uncomfortable, and you'll see them lying down in their swimming pool. They'll get into the pond and just immerse themselves in cool water to stay cool.
Right. Okay then. Well, listen. The best luck for the rest of the year ahead, I suppose, and good luck as well with Trailgazers tomorrow. It's yourself and Angus Kennedy and Jason Black who are the speakers, and that is from 11 to 12:30 at Angreenan Hotel in Burt. And then there's a second part to it as well, Killian, isn't there?
There is, yeah. There's a bicycle run afterwards. We're going to go on a loop around and on some bicycles and see what the local area has to offer. So it should be a very interesting day.
Brilliant, great idea. Thanks, Killian.
Thanking you.